Hello everyone, this is Chris from Ace Consulting Group, and welcome to my video where I'm going to be teaching you how to use a pivot table. So pivot tables are a really useful function or thing in Excel that allows you to take information out from databases or other groups of information and restructure it into a smaller table to identify certain things. So without further ado, let's start on how we can make a pivot table. So I'm going to just go to this blank worksheet I have here for the pivot table. And in order to create a pivot table, I want to go to the Insert tab up top here and Pivot Table. So click on that, and we're going to create the pivot table. So we want to select a table or a range here. And so for this example, I'm going to go back to my orders database. And you want to select all the information, including the titles for each column or row. So I'm actually too far to the right. Let's go to the left a bit. And let's highlight it all. So that's selected. And now we have this outline of a table here. And on the right, you can see where you can choose where you want to put where. So let's say we wanted to create a one-dimensional pivot table for simplicity's sake first. And in this table, what we're going to do is we're going to choose a report filter. Now, a report filter is going to be based on, let's do it by province. So now this allows us to choose which province we want to look at for the information, and this is going to apply to the rest of the table. For the rest of the table, let's say we want to look at profit for each shipping mode that we do. So we'll look at shipping mode for the rows. Let's just drag and drop. Oh, that's in the wrong one. If you want to unselect it, you can just drag it out. We want shipping mode under row labels, and we can do profit for values. So now we have this small simple table which shows us for all the provinces at the moment the profits, or the sum of the total profits that we get for each shipping mode. And let's say we wanted to get rid of a shipping mode. So we can get rid of regular air. Let's say we don't want to look at that, and that's going to take it out of the table, and now we can only look at these two. Now this is really helpful, so if you want to look at maybe different avenues of things that you're doing, which one's not being productive enough, if you want to decide to eliminate it, you can use a pivot table to look at your database and simplify the information in this manner. You could also look at the province, so we looked at it before, and we could choose which province we wanted to focus on. At the moment we're looking at all, but let's say we wanted to look at Ontario only. So we'll just click Ontario, then press OK. And now our numbers are changed just looking at the Ontario numbers. So we have the profits for each avenue and the grand total of profits. You can also choose multiple items if you select this box here. And now we can choose maybe Ontario, New Brunswick, British Columbia, and just for those three provinces, our numbers change. Okay, now let's go back to all. So that's a one-dimensional pivot table. If we wanted to create a two-dimensional pivot table, that involves creating a column label. And the column label allows us to make our information more precise. So at the moment, using our example, we have looking at province, we have a shipping mode and the profits for each shipping mode. But what if we wanted to narrow it down even more? So looking at columns, we'll use columns and the product category. Let's see what happens when we bring product category now. Now we can look at all the furniture that was sold and how much profit we got for each avenue of delivery. So furniture that was shipped through a delivery truck, we lost a lot of money on. Furniture that was sold through express air and regular air, we actually made money on. And this applies to office supplies and technology, and we have the grand totals for each column and each row showing here, all to create a grand total over here for everything. So similarly to before, we could narrow down our product categories to only choose one of the three. We can use shipping mode to narrow it down like we did before. We can choose certain provinces, just like, once again, just choose Ontario. Don't select multiple items, just Ontario. And that narrows it down a bit, and we can look at specific areas. So those are pivot tables. They're really helpful to analyze information databases or other groups of information. And feel free to play around with the pivot table I've included in the attached example. If you haven't seen the introductory video, it's in the description there. I'll also try and put it in the description for the other videos so you can reference it. The pivot table should already be existing. Actually, it should be this one. And feel free to play around with the different fields, add or drop or take stuff out, just so you get a better handle of how to use the pivot table and what works and what doesn't. So that's it for this video. Feel free to comment if you have any questions. Keep looking at our channel for some more helpful tips for your business, and all the best. I'll see you in the next video, and until then, take care.